We're talking about the Mirage today here on the fabulous TexVegas podcast. We've got myself, John, Chelsea, and Jeff are here, and this is kind of our first resort review. And as soon as everybody gets all of their giggles out, if only you could peek behind the scenes here in the Rex Creek Studios, you would just see what goes into the recording of one of these, in the editing and the audio. You would just be amazed at just what actually goes down. So, serenity now as we got all the giggles out and we're ready to talk about the Mirage.
It's Jeff's fault. He makes me laugh.
Well, that's why we bring him on, is because we want people to laugh. This is supposed to be an entertaining, releasing type.
We can't get serious enough to start the podcast.
We can't. We're a minute in and we haven't started the podcast. So why don't we just go to Jeff for a few jokes?
Hey, mija.
I knew that was coming. Oh, gosh. If you listen to our last episode, you'll remember the mija story very well. And as always, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. The Mirage was constructed in 1989.
Are you positive on that?
Opened in 1989.
Because you don't have paper or any notes or anything over here.
Okay, Jeff,
I
look it up.
I wouldn't challenge his knowledge on that.
I'm just impressed. Like, he just pulled that out, and I'm like, whoa, there's no paper, notes, nothing. Where you just memorize that? Which is very possible, because Jonathan, his memory is amazing. He can memorize stuff like crazy.
I mean, somebody will fact check me, and I'm maybe right or wrong. I believe it was in 89. It was pre-Bellagio. Like, Bellagio was 99, and so I think there was a difference between, time difference.
The Mirage has been around for a while.
It's been there longer. It's been there longer than for sure Bellagio.
In fact, I think it was of the places that are on the strip right now. I think that was one of the first that went up.
One of, I mean,
so I said one of the first.
MGM Grand went up. Well, maybe MGM Grand's not the original MGM Grand, but we've never stayed in the Grand, so you'll probably never hear us talk about it on a resort review.
All right.
Chelsea's fact checked me.
Opening date, November 22nd, 1989.
Boom!
30 years ago.
30 years ago next month.
It does not look like it's been there 30 years.
No.
They have taken such good care of
I'm gonna
that.
have to fact check y'all on that. It'll be 31 years next month.
31 years.
Okay.
There are two accountants in this room. It's kind of concerning.
Let's talk about the Mirage.
No, seriously, I think it looks amazing for its age. They've really taken care of it.
Well care of it. But so it was a design by Las Vegas casino architect Steve Wynn, who, if you've seen the Wynn and Encore, you know what he's all about. But before Wynn and Encore, it was Treasure Island Mirage, and he did the Bellagio too, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, 1989, 31 years next month for the Mirage.
The thing about Steve Wynn, it's arguable that if Bugsy Siegel and the mob started Las Vegas, Steve Wynn built the Strip.
Pretty much. I think everybody kind of followed suit with the
mega casino resort type of
grandiose resort, hotel resort casino type. He was the originator of the themed resort on the Strip.
So the atrium in the Mirage is my official happy place.
It's an all-time favorite. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, if you've never been there, it's beautiful. It's almost like a natural wildlife preserve type of thing. They got the cascading water and the little bridge that goes over the stream that comes from that cascade waterfall. When you're down there, you smell the water. You hear the sound.
You can smell the coconut that they pump through the
A lot of stuff goes by the wayside when you're down there, especially when you're down there at 5:30 in the a.m. smoking a cigarette, and an attractive young lady comes up and asks if you have a light and starts a conversation for you, and then your best friend's mother pulls you away and says, She's interested in your business.
These kind of things happen in Vegas all the time, but that did happen at the Mirage. Jeff's first trip there.
I think we had kind of touched
By the way,
on that in our first campfire.
Of course,
story.
that would be his first trip.
If you want to revisit some of that, episode 2, go back and listen to it. It was chocked full of adventurous Mirage stories.
Well, all I'm saying is that was one instance where the ice cream truck came to me. I didn't have to go chasing it down the street.
Recall memory. So in the previous episode, we're going to break this down 5 different ways and kind of give our thoughts and opinions. This is actually one of the resorts that we've stayed at the most. So this is actually a very good one to start. And so let's take the first and foremost subject of any hotel resort kind of review show we're going to do. Let's talk about the rooms themselves. Now, this is a fair contrast because we've stayed in a regular resort room.
Yep.
We have stayed in a hospitality suite.
Which was a 2-bedroom suite.
2-bedroom suite. And if you listened to episode 2 of the Fabulous TexVegas podcast, you heard about the time we stayed one night in one of those immaculate floor C suites.
Yeah, it's like a private 1-bedroom suite.
Private 1-bedroom suite. But here's the thing. It's those suites, like if you're on the street or looking at the Mirage from the street, at the top where it has the Beatles Love advertising, those are floors A, B, C, and D. Those are the private suites floors.
Yeah, the penthouse suite is up there.
And the penthouse suite is up
the
there.
larger suites.
Yeah.
So we've stayed in just about every type of room that the Mirage has to offer. We've stayed in Strip View. We've stayed in Mountain View. So I'm going to punt to Chelsea first to give thoughts on the different types of rooms that we've stayed in. If you had a favorite or not so favorite that you prefer, so I'll let you go first.
Well, I did love the room that we got when we did the Mountain View. I think that was our Easter trip there. But it was just lovely. Like, to watch the sunrise come up over the mountains and straight into our window was just beautiful. And it was nice. It was kind of like, even though you were in Vegas and you had all the hustle and bustle of the Strip, it's like you could go back to your room and just look out and you just saw nature, and it was just so pretty. So I really enjoyed that. Obviously, like, if you pinned me down and said, would you prefer a Strip view or a non-Strip view, I'm going to go with the Strip view. But that one time that we did the Mountain View, it was just beautiful, and it was really kind of just like that getaway I think that we needed.
Well, I want to jump in there and add that when it comes to these rooms in Las Vegas, Strip view, non-Strip view, there's really no bad view in Las Vegas, because if you're not looking at the Strip, you're looking at some very beautiful mountain scenery on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, now I will say and I know we're talking about the Mirage here, not the Luxor, but the last time that we stayed at the Luxor, we were put on like the second floor, I think, or it looked out to the outdoor building stuff. You'll
have a nice view of the air conditioning units.
And so it was kind of like we were looking out the back end of the stuff, and anyway, so I wasn't kind of a big fan of that. I felt like there was nothing to see out of our window.
So I'll amend my earlier statement. Sometimes you can get stuck with a bad view in Las Vegas.
Yeah, but I mean, I think those are rare, right?
That's more the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
So,
but as far as like the hospitality suite was great. It really was very functional for the 2 bedrooms with the adjoining living kitchen, and I think there's even a half bath in there.
I'll defer to Jeff to talk about furniture in the hospitality suite since he slept on it. Yeah.
I was about to say, look, if you're going to ask me about the rooms, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. The 2 times I've stayed at the Mirage, the first time, the entirety of our stay there, we were in the hospitality suite, and I slept on the couch.
He could have slept in the room because there was 2 queen beds in the second room.
But I wanted to give your mom some privacy, John, and I felt that she would want to do the same for me.
And let's just be real. She offered halfway through the trip to switch out and let
that wasn't going to happen.
And Jeff would never ever do that because that's just like his
He's
second
a
mom.
gentleman.
He's a gentleman, but it's like his second mom. He's going to do that to her.
Well, but apart from and the couch wasn't uncomfortable. I'll just put it that way. I mean, it wasn't like I was uncomfortable and I hated the experience. As couches go, it was one of the better ones I've slept on. I know that makes it sound like I've slept on a lot of couches.
I feel like you're starting to get a reputation on these podcasts.
It's probably not entirely unjustified. It was a nice suite. I liked the common areas. It was spacious, very clean.
I thought we had a really nice size table in there because I think we got
did.
room service that one day, and we were all able to kind of sit around that table with our food and stuff.
Yeah,
It was
actually,
nice.
breakfast one morning we had
Yes,
delivered.
it was breakfast like the
I kind of have. I
It
have
was
this,
a nice big round table, so we weren't, we were able to see each other, talk to each other.
Yeah, I
We
kind of
sat
have this
around that
rule in
table a couple
Vegas
times
that
and talked about our winnings.
we have to get room service like at
least
least
once.
once while we're there.
Kind of like our other traditions of having our dressed up night out
Exactly.
kind of thing. So
Yeah.
we're developing, and I think everybody does. Honestly, the repeat trippers to Vegas, I think you develop your own traditions as you go along. So I think that's something everybody relates to.
I think you look at other Vegas vloggers and they have their little niches and things that the first thing they do is X. Or at some point during the trip, you have to do X.
Yeah. That aside, the hospitality room, the hospitality suite was really nice.
What did you think of your resort room when you finally got one on that one trip?
So that's where this gets a little skewed because the first regular resort room I stayed in was y'all's when I had to shack up with y'all because they screwed up my reservation, and I was sleeping on a fold-away bed. So a little skewed. And then I finally, when I got my own room, that was also colored by the fact that those college kids were pissing me off all night long.
Okay, but aside from that,
but the rooms were nice. The
you
rooms
find-
were spacious. I didn't have any problems with the room physically, other than just the circumstances surrounding my time in those rooms. But, to be perfectly honest, I don't know how other people are when they're in Vegas, but I'm in my room to sleep and to change. And that's about it. Like, catching a cat nap in the afternoon because that's what keeps me going in the evenings. Change, shave, shower, all that stuff. But I spend very little time in the room, really. I think we all do. We're all pretty much out and about.
Yeah, but let's just talk about that for a second. I mean, I think John and I are kind of opposite. One of my requirements is the soaker tub. That's like a treat.
Yeah, that's something I've learned too because, we do so much walking up and down the strip and in the casinos themselves. Like, the best thing you can do as soon as you get back to your room is just to get in that soaker tub and that hot water and just let
your muscles relax
your muscles out. And then when I hit the sheets, I'm out like a light.
Yeah. But so I would say for John and I, we really do prefer to invest more into our rooms. We do like to go back periodically throughout the day to our room and just kind of take a break away and know that you've got a nice place to go. Now, having said that, I don't, as long as the room is clean and fairly nice, I don't have a problem with staying in an older hotel or an older room. I mean, as long as it's been kept up and a roach isn't crawling across the floor, there's not bed bugs.
Which rules out Circus.
Pretty much.
you will never hear a resort review of the Circus on the Fabulous TexVegas podcast. We will not subject you to that. Although
I won't subject me to that.
Yeah, right. No subjection here. All right, so I'll go around. My thoughts are essentially really the same. I thought Hospitality Suite was really good. I think the Mega Suite was mega awesome.
Yeah, but realistically, we're never going to stay in one of those again, and most of our listeners will never experience one of those either. So, while I can say, honestly, that was my favorite room to be in, it was a once-in-a-lifetime fluke.
One shot Johnny. So I'll go around on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being excellent, 1 being circus. I'll go around. Chelsea, your numerical value of the hotel. The hotel part of the Mirage.
I would say 4.
Okay. No need to justify it. Just pick just a random number, Jeff.
4.
Okay, first of all, on behalf of Circus, I'm going to say ouch. And on behalf of the Mirage, I'm going to say 4.3.
Oh, okay. Well, because
Decimals.
are we putting prices right here?
No, he's an accountant, so I get it.
Wow.
I would have gone 4.5 on the hotel, and as far as part of the Mirage. So that's section 1 of the accommodations. Now let's talk about section 2. We're going to talk about eating and dining at the Mirage, and I honestly. We've eaten at a burger place there that no longer exists. It's Diablo's Cantina now. But we have eaten at Cravings Buffet.
Yeah, the buffet is great, I think. I mean, they have really good food, and I mean, they did change it up a while back to where it's like self-serve drinks. And I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't really care for that as much. But aside from that, I mean, I really enjoy the buffet.
Crab legs. And other carb-heavy foods like pastas and whatever. The last thing you're thinking about is, oh man, I've got to get up and go refill my own drink. So yeah, that one's kind of a downer for me. But your typical Las Vegas buffets, it's got your prime rib.
Everyone that works there too is very nice.
Very
I've
nice.
always experienced a really nice, wait staff.
They had to make your own like omelet station, and then at dinner time it would be pasta, and you'd leave a tip for the guy, and get a good plate of food. But I mean, I would give the buffet on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being excellent, 1 being the Luxor buffet. I would give it about a 3.
Yeah, I would say 3.5 or 4. I mean, I honestly, as far as buffets go in Vegas, it's certainly not the worst. I wouldn't say it's up there with the best per se, but it's
for
certainly
my part,
not the worst.
On behalf of the Luxor, I'm going to say ouch. Also, on behalf of the Luxor, I will say I totally get it, though. Because you have some buffets in Las Vegas.
We're going to do a Luxor review after we get back.
I'm not going to name any names. You're the one that named names, so shut up. There are some buffets in Las Vegas that are nothing more than your average standard Golden Corral fare. And I'm not flying to Las Vegas, Nevada to eat some very overpriced... I caught myself that time. Some very overpriced Golden Corral. I'm not about that life. So for the Mirage in the Cravings buffet, they've got the right kind of food for me. I think it's worth the money. I love the seafood selection. I love the oyster. I'm an oysters kind of a crab legs kind of a guy. It's true what they say about oysters. They definitely made me tired.
What did you get there that time from the carving station? Was it like roast beef or?
No, prime rib.
Prime rib.
Yeah.
And it was like very raw.
It was more rare than I prefer it.
Yeah.
But for what it was still good. I mean, I ate the perimeter of the meat that was a little more the medium, and I left the bleeding pink in the middle.
John got some too, I think, and he had poured so much gravy on his, you can tell.
No, mine wasn't as rare. It was more medium.
He thinks because there was so much gravy on there, you really couldn't tell.
I could tell before I put the gravy on it.
He's pretty confident in that, folks.
I was not confident. I was not confident in the prime rib that time. But you know what? As with most things, it is a little hit or miss.
So
if I give it a number from 1 to 5, I'll go 4.2.
Okay.
4.2. I was a 3. You were
Like 3.5 or 4. Yeah.
On top of that, besides the Cravings buffet, I will be straightforward and honest. I haven't done much else eating at the Mirage. I don't recall any other places at the Mirage that I've eaten at.
We're hoping to try out the cantina, Diablo's Cantina. while we're there. But there's also a Diablo's at the Luxor, so it's like, when do we choose to do it? What night? Whether we do it, which side of the strip we're on that night.
And you'll find out come December.
Because we've got the virus going on right now. And not everything has reopened. Most places have reopened, but not everything. So it's up in the air.
Well, okay. So while we're on the subject of food and that sort of establishment now, would we say that that's the category that the rum bar falls in?
We could classify a rum bar.
Does it have food or is it just drinks?
It's mostly just drinks, and I think they had the little snack thing next door to it, if it's still there or not. But I just wanted to give that extra shout out to the rum bar because I've passed many fantastic night there after we've had a great run on the tables. We're feeling good. We've got the adrenaline going. We just go over to the rum bar, sit outside, have a drink. Relax,
I love the rum bar.
It's
such beautiful weather outside when we go. I think we've only gone once in the summer, and
it's just a great
environment. It is so nice to sit
The
outside.
outdoor rum bar, a lot of your cigar smoking types sit out there, and they'll have a cigar and a drink.
Yeah, but what's good about it though, and because I'm a former smoker, and I have a hard time being around people who are smoking, not because I want one, just because I think it stinks to high heaven, and I can't believe I ever smelled like that. But when you're at the rum bar at the Mirage in Las Vegas, you are not talking about people smoking Black and Milds or some really cheap crap cigar that smells bad. This is where the high caliber, really, really excellent cigars get smoked, and it doesn't smell that bad, actually. I'll give it that much credit.
Most of the time, there's a breeze out there. They have the fans. The chairs are really comfortable. It was probably, we have actually a few pictures from us sitting out there, and it's one of my favorite memories of the time that we kind of just sat out there and visited.
And I think it was really nice because we had just had a pretty good run on the craps table, so we were a little heavier in the pocket, and that's just a great feeling to have,
right?
So that brings us to the next item to review on is the gaming floor itself.
Now, full stop confession, this is probably going to be a little outdated because I understand that they have updated the gaming floor since the last time we've been there due to the virus. So
everything, they've moved some things around, but
I have to say though, my gaming at the Mirage, in fact, it was the first place we really fell in love with the gaming in Vegas. And we had been at several hotels and played in several different places, and all in all, I love the gaming. Second only to Luxor, really. We really enjoyed Luxor the last couple times we've gone there, but Vegas, the Mirage is just a lot of fun.
We've won more on slot machines at the Mirage than we've won anywhere.
I would amend your statement when I would say that the Luxor was second to the Mirage. I think the Mirage is still my favorite place to game. Literally, the very first time I played $1 on a table in Las Vegas, that 2 a.m. rib jab session that we did back in October of 2015. So literally from the very first time I played a game in Las Vegas, which was at the Mirage, and we won pretty good. I've done very well at the Mirage since. I like their gaming floor. It's not too congested. It's still a good environment because you get the action on the tables. You get the players' involvement. It's not quiet,
and you get the dealers' involvement too. I think the dealers are very much, they're feeding the energy, if you will.
Yeah, and I always put it this way: like if you want the kind of environment where it's quiet, it's still, it's museum-like, your dealers are away from everything, then go to the Aria, because I definitely got that vibe when we passed through the Aria. I like the Mirage because everybody's engaged, the dealers are engaged. I got the same vibe at the Luxor, but we'll talk about the Luxor in another show, I would imagine. And
slot gaming at the Mirage, we've never won more on slots than we have there. I recall there was one morning that Jeff and I went down, and Jeff was doing something, and I was just like, okay, I'll go with you. And I sat down at my 777 machine that when you hit the bonus does burn baby burn, just go inferno.
I love that machine.
And I'm sitting there playing while Jeff's doing this thing. He comes back, he's like, "You finished yet?" And I had, at that point, I'd taken like $5 and turned it into 50, and I'm like, "No, yeah, I'm good. We're good to go." This last trip when Chelsea and I went, we took about $40 each, and we played on that for about 3 hours at the Mirage, and we played that $40. We started out with 80. We played it up to about 250 on slots before we left.
Yeah.
So, and that was probably one of our better, really one of the better slot sessions we've had. But we started playing together, and when we
played the 007
the
machine.
007 machine paid off.
Just pretty fun game.
The one with the when you hit the bonus, they give you the casino chips, and they change colors. And if you get the gold, it's the higher the amount.
Yeah, so I mean, it just seems like from our experience, your money goes a little bit farther at the Mirage too.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing: there's places. The Strip, it's tight. The machines are tight. They're not going to pay off. Like if you think you're going to go, if the jackpot says $25,000,
you're not going to get
you're probably not going to you're not going to hit it at all, really. But if you win a couple $100, I mean, that's they have to. The machines do have to pay out. They can't just take all your money. It feels like it though.
Sometimes for me it does. Like if I put $20 or $100, whatever I put into a slot machine, I'm pretty much I'm writing that money off. Like I don't have a lot of luck on the slots, but that's anywhere I go, not just the Mirage. One of the 2 times I've actually won on a slot machine was at the Mirage, the Harley Davidson machine.
Now Chelsea, she can tell the table story because one of Chelsea's favorite games is roulette, even though you don't have the advantage, and it's almost like throwing your money away. But there was one epic run that Chelsea and I had on the roulette table it was at the Mirage. So I'll let her tell that story since it's a Mirage story. So.
Well, I mean, so when I play roulette, no matter what, I always bet on 0 or 00. Now, there is a way you can bet on both numbers, which is what I usually do. So either or, it doesn't matter which one hits.
It just takes instead of being like 38 or 37 to 1 payout, it's like
16 to 1. It's like half.
Yeah.
But it's still a big hit. And so no matter what, I always, every single time I put chips out there, I put chips on 0 00. Theory, I guess, or mentality behind that is that 0 will come up. It's just a matter of how long are you going to sit there before it does, or when will it, or whatever. But like you can lose down quite a bit, and then if you hit 0, you just made all your money back. So it's just, to me, it's worth always betting there. But I was kind of getting you, I think, into playing roulette this trip, and I was kind of telling you this is my theory. You should always play on 0, and that will hit 0 or 00 3 times nearly in a row. Like, I mean, there was only a few spins in between each time.
So we were in for about $200 because it was $100 for you and $100 for me. By the time because we were meeting my aunt and uncle who just happened to be in town at the same time. We were meeting them for dinner at the buffet, so we were killing time before them, and we left that table like $1,600. Mm-hmm. So suffice to say, we had a really good run.
It was one of our biggest wins that we've ever had.
Here's what happened, though, and this is one complaint, but I understand everybody has a job to do. Once we hit 0 00 for the 3rd time, the pit boss comes over to the table and stands there and starts watching. And you kind of, you're not doing anything wrong, but when they're just standing there watching what's going on, you feel like, okay, they're trying to pin something on us.
Or they're going to mess you up. Like, they're going to, like, tell the dealer to change out the ball, or, like, they're going to do something. We need to
hold the table up. We need to do a chip on it.
Yeah. So they're going to do something to throw it off,
It's called icing the table. Mm-hmm. So they slow things down and try to cool off the luck.
At that point, Chelsea and John are like, you know what? We're good. We're cashing out. So when that happened, we cashed out, and we took our profit and we ran for the hills. But no, we've definitely had some great luck at the Mirage Gaming. So we're going to spin it around.
Well, just real quick, I want to add that one more thing I like about the Mirage Gaming floor is they've got a really nice air system in there. So it
great
really
ventilation.
pulls the smoke up and out. And as, again, a former smoker, that's important to me.
So we'll start with Jeff. We're on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being excellent and 1 being slots of fun, which is down over by the Circus. How would you rate the casino?
Slots of fun. These
On behalf
ratings
of
are...
slots of fun, I'm going to say, where did you
Ouch.
pull that one out?
Right?
I will give the Mirage Gaming floor a 4.8.
I have to say a 5. I mean, truly, I've won the most money there.
That would have been my 1.5. Yeah, I'm going to give out a 5. I believe, and this is why we game there. Every trip we go back, we do game there at least 1 or 2 nights.
But you have to rub the butt.
Never forget, rub the butt.
Never forget, rub the mermaid statue's butt, and you will win. It is a proven fact. Some old guy told us, my mom's, and so you have to believe it.
There's no money back guarantee here, though. Don't come back to us if you rub the butt and you don't win.
I mean, something with your mojo, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
On a side note, I will be offering free lessons on exactly how to rub the butt. So when we're in Las Vegas in 43 days, I will do a video tutorial.
Coming to a vlog near you. You laugh. You don't think I won't film that video?
I'm laughing because I can just picture security coming up like, "Sir, can we help you?" And then I'm standing there with my hand on the statue's butt. No, I'm good. I'm good.
If we don't get thrown out for videoing at the Mirage, I'm totally gonna film that.
Jeff's gonna be like, "We got viewership, bro. Watch out."
We won't be thrown out for videoing on the gaming floor, but we'll get thrown out for videoing some really peculiar stuff.
Right. So, okay. So, gaming is a very, very highly scored. Do we want to bypass entertainment because Terry Fader's the only entertainment we've seen there?
Beatles love Cirque.
Beatles love Cirque. So
And Terry Fader's not there anymore. Shim Lim is, and I do not like Shim Lim. I do not think. I said Shim,
like
right?
Ship.
No, Shim Lim. He is a magician, card guy. What does he do?
Well, honey, he is a magician card guy.
Yeah, and sorry, but he's just not my favorite. And they've blown him up to be this great thing, and I just think like it's not that entertaining.
On
but
behalf of Shim Lim, I would like to say, ouch.
You can always. Boys to Men has been there.
I want to see Boyz II Men every time we go, but they're
talking about I'll make love. Yeah, all that. Yeah, no.
By
Yeah,
this time,
John's
isn't it
not.
Boys to senior citizens.
Right.
men to senior citizens. No, but I feel like when Terry Fader was there, I think we saw him twice.
We did.
I loved Terry Fader. I'm so sad that he's not there anymore. But the Beatles Love Cirque show, hands down,
Look,
one of the best Cirque
5
shows
out
out
of 5
there.
on
Yeah,
the Beatles Love Cirque show.
it's a must do.
And if we're rating entertainment, I'll start to score. If we're rating entertainment that we've seen, I would say it's about a 4.5. I would give Beatles Love a 5. You should check out Beatles Love Cirque du Soleil. However, if we're judging it on entertainment that's currently on the property, I think I'm going to have to give it a 2.
Beatles Love, come on though,
Beatles
that's
Love,
better
but
than a
they're
2.
not up and running yet. I'm at Shim Lim and
Oh, you mean like currently as of
Yeah.
to date? Yeah, okay.
yeah.
But I mean, honest to goodness, I would say 3.5, 4 again, just because I really love the Beatles Love Cirque show. It's totally worth it. I don't want to like dismiss the greatness there.
If you're going to go see a Cirque du Soleil show in Las Vegas and you're a Beatles fan, it's a must see. That's all I'm saying. Jeff, do you want to give entertainment a number or?
No.
All right. And finally, the miscellaneous category of dislikes and likes, pros and cons, anything we did not cover on the Mirage. So who would like to kick that off?
I'm trying to think. Things I dislike.
No, like or dislike, pros or cons. I mean, you talked about the atrium.
That is truly my happy place. I just love standing there.
The front desk is really awesome.
And we saw a couple getting married one time at the atrium.
Yeah, we did. The one guy was wearing a kilt.
He was. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I think I had taken a picture of that actually from a distance. Because I was obviously not in the wedding party, and you're not going to be like, "Hey, can I take a picture because you're in a kilt?" Yeah. I really love just the environment at the Mirage.
The volcano.
The volcano is great. I never get tired of seeing that go off ever.
Mirage's answer to the Bellagio fountains.
I mean, it also holds some nostalgia for us because we renewed our 5-year vows there.
You're right in front of the
so I don't know. The Mirage is just truly a special place, and even if we go and we don't stay there,
we always go.
There. It's
find
just
our way there because it's just like a calling to us.
And I have to say, one of the other loves that I have is the piano bar. They put that in a few years back now.
Right. And
it is my favorite place to when I just want to like chill out, but I still want to be amongst the energy. You can go right into the piano bar, and you can still feel all the energy of the gaming floor, but yet it's kind of like this calm down, listen to the music.
Jeff, how much did you tip the waitress at the piano bar?
I remember this.
$70. And then she never came back.
You scared her off.
I wish somebody would scare me with money. I mean,
this was after about 2 Crown Old Fashions, and.
But do you remember the one waitress? She remembered us from the previous year. It had been a year since we had been there,
right.
And we went in and was her name Chelsea too?
I don't remember.
How much had I tipped her?
No, this was the second girl that helped us. Like the second night we went in there. Remember, she was so sweet, but she remembered us. And y'all, maybe because y'all had your hats on, I don't know. But she was like, "I think I remember y'all. Y'all have been here before." And we were like, "Yeah, it's been a year ago."
She probably says that to everybody.
No, she legitimately remembered us. Shut up, Jeff.
I remember. I do remember. She. I think I remember y'all being here. That was the night we went to Hell's Kitchen, and we stopped over back at the Mirage and went to the piano bar. And
yeah,
yes,
it wasn't
John,
a piano guy. It was some kind of guitar dude. So I mean, they were bringing in different musicians. But
I was being a little facetious there, I guess you could say. But I remembered that because that was the waitress I had tipped the $70 to the time before.
Well. It didn't.
That was the October 17 trip, and then she recognized us back again in April of 19.
Yeah. She was just so sweet.
Yeah. So all right. So to wrap this up, let's give the Mirage a number on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being excellent, and 1 being the Travelodge that's on the backside of the strip.
I have to say 5. I mean, yes, every hotel probably has its like cons, but I have to say that Mirage does operate with excellence. They do. And even when we've had our moments where we've had to complain, they still operated with excellence. So I have to go 5.
First of all, on behalf of Travelodge, I'm going to say, why are you staying here? As far as the Mirage goes, I will give them a 5. Because even though, yes, we have had a few issues with them before, they work very hard to rectify those. And if they can't, they will go out of their way to make it up to you.
I'm going to give it a 4.8, just because I make it a policy never to give too many.
Oh my
perfect
gosh,
ratings.
Really? Really?
But
don't be like that.
I will say that I do recommend it as a place that you check out and stay at on your Vegas trip for sure. It kind of holds a special place in our heart because we, like I said, this is the resort we've stayed at the most. In our 10 trips to Las Vegas, I think we've stayed there 4 times.
Yeah.
And we always make it a point to go back there. We forgot about the pantry. You and I have eaten the pantry before.
Yeah, because that's also where your room service comes from. It's the pantry, and they also have the essential store. I mean, we could go on and on. I mean, they have the huge fish tank behind the registration or check-in desk.
They have a Starbucks.
Yes, because we don't stay anywhere that doesn't have a Starbucks. That's my treat. When we go to Vegas every morning, I get Starbucks. So.
And it's right across the street.
But they also have like another little coffee shop, and they also have the frozen yogurt and a few shops. I mean, they have the swimming pool areas are great. I mean, there's so much we didn't touch on.
How could I forget Siegfried and Roy's animal, whatchamacallit, that's out there.
I mean, truly, if you were going to go to Vegas and you only had a couple days to be there and you knew you weren't going to be going out too much, you could stay at the Mirage. Actually, we did for my birthday in July that time. We stayed at the Mirage and we only left the hotel one time for over a 3-day period.
That's because the temperature outside was 110.
Yeah, but my point is that there's plenty to do there that can keep you occupied for several days without ever leaving the Mirage. And that's more than I can say for some other resorts.
And we will say that about other resorts in the near future. You and I were going to do an Aria one coming up soon. We'll drop that one. We are headed to Vegas in December, and we will be staying at the Luxor for 4 nights. But first, when we check in on the Sunday we get there, we will be staying at the Cosmo. So we're going to be, when we come back, we'll do a Cosmo. We'll have plenty of video, images, and stuff from the Cosmo to share, and we'll do an extensive, lengthy Cosmo review. We're both staying in the Fountain View terrace rooms, so we'll do a vlog with a room review, and we'll also do a overall podcast. There will be one restaurant that I will not name, but Jeff would love to give an extensive review on it, so we're going to try it out while we're there, and he plans to review it in depth. I don't want to spoil it, but it'll be a surprise. Don't forget, we will be doing live from Las Vegas every night during our trip. So like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications on the fabulous TexVegas podcast channel, and you will be notified when we go live. And so if you want to see what's going on live in Las Vegas, that will be the time. We'll give you that time code in a future podcast, as we are, staring down the barrel of about 30 or so days to go. This has been the Fabulous TexVegas podcast, all about the Mirage. We recommend you go and check it out and stay there, and do some YouTube research too if you want to do that. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, share, subscribe.